Today I'll be filming a bit of a different video than what I've posted in the past few weeks. I decided to post this video which will be me talking about rock music and how it's having this quote-unquote death. Even though they say rock never dies, I would like to contest against that and say that in recent months, years, it has started to have a decline. So my taste in music is certainly focused on the genre of rock music and also indie music, and I absolutely love music. It is honestly the sole thing that inspires my creative work and my day-to-day life, and it is consistently at the forefront of my mind. So I've noticed that in recent years there has been a lack of rock music in the top charts and lack of bands being popular, rock bands being popular, and whenever you put on a radio it is always pop music, and if it's not pop music from the 2020s or 2010s, it's always rock music or even 80s pop music, where most of the artists and songs are popular and well loved amongst so many people, well known, all that, and there's often a focus on sentimentality and nostalgia, and even I have that with AC/DC, but I would like to point out a couple of things that this circulates. So, as I pointed out, radio stations playing rock music, you know, classic rock music like AC/DC, Queen, Prince, even T-Rex, like Get It On, you know. We've all heard it, we've heard these songs millions of times being played on these radio stations, and even cheaped down to advertisements, like the song Knock on Wood, literally my favourite song, one of my favourite songs of all time, and I've heard it on advertisements and it just instantly cheaps down its message and the main point of this video. If listeners and people in general are not willing to listen to new rock music, how are new perspectives going to come to light? How are new rock artists going to be seen? How are bands gonna come into popularity? That's my question, and that question is really prevalent, you know. Let's take AC/DC for example, you know, what I was raised on. I love those songs, I know them off by heart. You play an AC/DC song and I know it instantly. And I know all the chords, even though I don't play any instruments, I know every tune in every goddamn song. But all of these songs are about having sex with women, and that's not a wrong thing, you know. Why would it ever be? But this perspective is, let's be honest, a very white, Western, male-oriented perspective. There are so many perspectives, queer and perspectives from people of colour, that are just want to be told, and if we do not give a platform to them, how are they going to circulate? How are people's points of views from the 21st century going to be told through rock music? And that only proves my point. Rock music is having a slow death. I would also like to take another example, which is Måneskin. Now, Måneskin is a clear example of a rock band that rose literally from the ashes. I remember watching Eurovision and like my jaw dropped at their performance, and what they were singing about really resonated with me. Even though it's in Italian, I instantly looked up those lyrics at the English translation, and man, that is a perspective from rock music that I've never been able to have before, because it's so concentrated on the straight white male perspective that I was just shocked. I went to one of the last Måneskin concerts in Manchester, and it was clear that they loved singing and they loved the message that they were circulating and what they stood for, but it was clear that they were so tired of being the sole source of carrying the legacy of rock music. Like, they were so popular, and what do we have now? We have no popular rock bands. And it made me wonder, like, how is my generation supposed to carry on that legacy? How are future younger generations supposed to carry on that legacy if nobody is willing to listen to rock music that is made in this generation? And how are we supposed to make new rock music if the radio stations keep playing this amazing rock music from the 70s and 80s, but it's from the 70s and 80s. It's not from the 21st century. It doesn't tell the perspectives of our generation. It doesn't tell the struggles we've been through. It could literally rip a hole in the universe. And for some strange reason, these record labels aren't giving new artists the opportunity to make rock music. Like, there's surely something going on behind the scenes, because artists can't just be like, oh yeah, we're not going to make rock music, because I know that there are some artists out there who are desperate to make rock music but are being fitted into these easily consumable indie or pop music boxes. And I'm not going to say who I think it is, but you can easily tell from their sound that in some of their songs they are desperate to have a lot more rock influence. The most annoying thing is the forefront of rock audiences that speak their voices and show up on TV in interviews or whatever, or even rock artists themselves. They are always saying the same stuff. They all look similar, and they all perpetuate this idea that rock music from the 70s and 80s is superior to anything that could ever be made again. But I know for sure that if given the opportunity, artists, music artists in this generation could make bomb-ass rock music. We all know it. We all know it for sure. If given the opportunity, our generation could make simply amazing, queer, inclusive, diverse rock music that speaks to all genders, all sexualities, all races, all backgrounds. Let's make rock music more inclusive. That is what I would love to see, and I would love to see bands formulate. I would love to see Måneskin come back together. And I am putting this video out as a dream, as a manifestation. All I want to see is rock music having that space to blossom, because rock music is still doing amazing. It's just rock music from the 70s and 80s and before that, and not after that, you know? So, in conclusion, how can we make it so that rock music can have the opportunity to really blossom in the 21st century? Well, I say keep on listening to your favourite T-Rex record, keep listening to Queen, keep listening to AC/DC, keep listening to David Bowie. We love you, we love what you stood for, but let's provide opportunity to new rock artists, new rock bands. Go out to your local bar and see the new band that's in town, see the new rock artist that's in town, the new indie artist. And if you want to make rock music yourself, go ahead, don't be scared, because the way that rock music can still go on is if we be brave, if we be bold, if we take the first step towards rejuvenating what rock music always stood for. And I believe it can happen. I dream for it to happen, and I urge you to take the first step into supporting rock music in the now. And I can't wait to see what you guys think. Please let me know in the comments. I would love to make a longer video on this. I could literally speak about this for hours and hours, and I have thought about it for hours and hours, and it would make me so happy if I could make a longer version of this video. So please do support the channel, please subscribe if you like what I had to say, and catch me next week for the next video. And I will certainly be doing more of these videos where I'm just sitting down and talking over candlelight. That would be lovely. So thank you, and I'll see you next week. Bye.